Welcome back, everyone. We will now begin session 2, Industry Keynote. It gives us great pleasure to invite our distinguished speaker, Mr. Daniel Azizan, Head of Country, Google for Education, to deliver his keynote entitled AI, Cybersecurity and Connected Future, Opportunities for Academics, Researchers and Students.
Mr. Daniel, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. My name is Daniel. I'm the country head for Google for Education for both Malaysia and Brunei. So today, my topic will be on AI, cybersecurity and connected future. But before I start, can I have a show of hands on who in the room are educators or lecturers? Okay. And can I have a show of hands on who are students? Okay, so 30% lecturers, more students in the room. So I don't have a clicker, but maybe next slide. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this Rubik's Cube. So for those who actually have played with a Rubik's Cube, you know how difficult this game is. So when you actually don't know the formula to solve a Rubik's Cube, it can be very challenging and very stressful. But why am I showing a Rubik's Cube as part of my introduction? It's because we live in an educational society where we need to be multi-skilled, multifaceted, and for the lecturers or educators in the room, when you actually came to the university, for example, you came to UTAM, you expect to just teach, right? But on top of that teaching, you are also planning your lessons, you are designing your curriculum, you need to nurture your students, be their mentor, adapt to personalized learning and coaching for your students. And for students equally, when you actually go to universities, you don't actually just study one subject. You study multiple modules. You want to graduate, and then when you graduate, you want to upskill. So just imagine if you are a Rubik's Cube, you are multifaceted, you have a lot of things to do, and if you start messing it up randomly, how do you actually have time to do everything? And the one commodity that a lot of lecturers and students need today is more time. More time to teach, more time to study, more time to communicate with your peers, and more time to really listen to what your mentors, your parents, your peers are saying about what will be relevant in a livable society in the future. For the students in the room, which one of you believe from UTAM, which one believe that you can actually work for a company like Google in the future? That's good. That's good. 15 years ago, I was like you. I attended a session like this, and when the speaker asked me the same question, or asked the audience the same question, who of you believe that you can actually work in a multinational company like Google one day? I raised up my hand, and here I am. So it's not impossible, especially when you believe that technology can also help you. And AI today is that platform that can help you nurture your skills and get you to where you want to be in the future. Next slide, please. So, what if? The two words that actually influence a lot of innovations around the world. The Wright brothers, what if humans could fly? Thomas Edison, what if I created light? And what if one day I wanted to work with a company like Google? Just ask yourself this. What if tomorrow I started to just rescale or upscale with just one more skill to make myself better? What if tomorrow I upskilled myself with just fundamentals of AI? So Tan Sri, if you don't know about AI, what if you just upskill yourself with foundations of AI? And this time next year, I'm sure Tan Sri, you can be on stage and talk about AI. So it's just that what if moment. What if I was able to do something a bit more? What if I could better myself in certain skill sets? What if I could present better to the rest of the room? And I used to be an introvert. I'm not going to be out on stage to talk. But what if I just tried my best? What if I learned about AI? What if I learned about cybersecurity? Who am I going to be in the next 10 years? What if I wanted to be someone that is relevant to the Malaysian community in the future? And you never know, one of you could be Prime Minister one day. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is especially on AI. The 3 questions, or the burning questions, a lot of universities and lecturers think about the motions of AI. How will AI impact assessment? Because the way that lecturers are grading today is different from the way that you grade assignments 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you don't actually have a lot of AI, you have a lot of plagiarism. But today, a lot of students are smarter. You will use a lot of AI platforms to ideate, give you skeletons on how you can submit assignments. Second question is, how can AI help develop educational content? If everyone in this room, or every single lecturer in this room, just prompt, how do I actually make my subject ABC much more educational to my students today? Then you are actually leveraging AI to help you ideate on how to create your curriculum better. How can AI help teachers manage workloads? And teachers today, and I spoke in Bad Asia last October, teachers today need to do a lot of things. Lecturers today need to do a lot of things. Students today need to do a lot of things. So how can AI really help? Is to address 2 things. Number 1, give you back time, of course. And number 2, AI can also help you reduce burnout. Because if students have a lot of assignments, you burn out. If lecturers are always thinking about what is the next innovative idea that I could actually embed in my curriculum, without AI, you have to do a lot of research. You go google.com, and I hope everyone is using google.com. If you go to google.com, you search on specific things, there's a lot of things that comes out. But with the help of AI today, you will actually reduce a lot of time. Which of you in the room, and this is for the whole room, uses AI even today? Okay. Which of you in the room uses Gemini? Okay. Alright, I'm not going to talk about other platforms. Alright, next slide please. So with AI, we believe that we can deliver truly personalized learning. With AI, we can actually also promote high quality education for every student and unleash teacher and student potential. And I'll show you a few use cases after this. Next slide. Okay, so before I present the use cases, circle back to what if. So I'm going to show you a couple of use cases now in terms of how to actually use AI in teaching and learning. How you can actually use AI to reduce burnout, how to use AI to give you back more time. So next slide. So how do we actually use AI, or how might we use AI to make learning more personal? So this is something where 5-7 years ago, a lot of teachers or educators looked into this model called flipped classroom. And in flipped classroom, you need to have a model called personalized learning or coaching for your students, or one-to-one learning. So, next slide. Today, we have the power of AI. So for those of you who do not use Gemini in the room, who doesn't use Gemini in the room? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, one person. So if you're not using Gemini in the room, you can go to gemini.google.com. So once you go to gemini.google.com, you log in using your university ID. The reason why I want everyone to use their university ID is because of one thing. If you use your personal Gmail to log into gemini.google.com, I will give you all the advertisements in the world. I will learn your behavior. That means I will learn how you prompt, I will become you. But if you use your university ID, I will not learn your behavior, and we do not give you ads. Okay? So gemini.google.com is that one place. If you were thinking, what if I wanted to start using AI? So this is the website to go to firstly, gemini.google.com. When we talk about AI, we talk about the first thing that comes to mind, which is prompting and using chatbots. So when you go to gemini.google.com, you will see a chatbot, and you will prompt. You will prompt, I am an educator, or I'm a student studying Faculty of AI in university, and I would like to research an idea or give me guidance on AI technologies of today, for example. And this is a simple prompt where you are a student or a lecturer, what faculty, what you want to learn about, and give me a prompt, in terms of, or give me ideas in terms of how I would learn better. And this is the first step of really utilizing the power of AI. Because if you go to google.com and you search, how do I actually study about Faculty of AI in today's trend, it will give you all the websites in the world, right? But if you use AI chatbots like this, it will give you everything, and it will cite for you what websites and all instantly. If you are thinking about, okay, I've never used AI before, what if I wanted to use AI today? This is the first step. Secondly, July this year, we launched something called Gemini for Education, which is available to all of you in the room today, invested by KPT. So Gemini for Education will only give you outcomes that are ring-fenced with education, legitimate sites and education journals. That means it will not search the whole of internet to give you an outcome. It will only give you an outcome that is based on education content. Okay? So gemini.google.com is your first step in utilizing AI. So if you are not using AI or using AI platforms today, please, gemini.google.com, just prompt and start using AI to ideate. Do not copy and paste answers from here, but use this to give you a skeleton, help you ideate and all. So you might think, okay, this is similar to other platforms. Yes, it is similar to other platforms. But Gemini for Education is only ring-fenced for education. Next slide. Notebook LM. Who here in the audience have actually used Notebook LM? Maybe less than 10. Okay. Remember this website. Notebook LM, notebook.google.com. Notebook.google.com. Sign in using your university ID. And if there's hundreds of you in the room today, you can also access this. So Notebook LM is one of the features that was launched earlier or late last year to provide a platform for lecturers and students to actually be much more resourceful, better. So for the lecturers in the room, you might probably have a lot of digital content or digital curriculum. Your students might want those curriculum. So typically, for lecturers, you will email, you will share your cloud drive, and you will provide resources on an ad hoc basis. So when you need it, you go and send it. So for lecturers in the room, you can upload your resources to Notebook LM. And when you upload those sources, it could be a PDF file, a website, a YouTube video. Unfortunately, you cannot upload Word documents because, we're not friends with other people. So, use Google, yeah. So when you upload, for lecturers in the room, when you upload your sources, whatever the student asks will be based on just your resources. What it means is that apart from what I showed you earlier with gemini.google.com, this notebook LM will only give you answers for your students based on your resources. So you upload all the resources in the world that is owned by you, and it will not search the whole internet for answers. So a student, let's say my lecturer has uploaded all my resources, using the chatbot, I can ask about anything about the subject. That means when I ask, the answers will only be based on the resources that I upload. But I now have the power to actually give a chat feature to my students. That means if I'm a lecturer today and I upload all my resources, I cannot do one-to-one personalized learning with all of you because there's hundreds of you here. But what I can do is with Notebook LM, I upload all of my resources, I give you access to this chat feature, and anything you ask about the subject, your answer will be based on the resources that I upload. That means it will not search the whole internet and iterate. It will not search the whole internet, it will only search based on the resources. And it will also cite where the answer comes from. So if I search for something, it will give me a citation. I click on that citation, I can actually pinpoint which document and which paragraph that answers come from. What's the next best thing? For the students who do not want to use the chatbot, there's also something lecturers can generate, and they can generate an audio overview. So think of it like a podcast. So a lot of students today, they have the ability to maybe not learn by traditional methods, but they want to listen. So if a lecturer today in the room uploads all the resources and generates a podcast, your students, you can download the podcast for your students, or your students can listen to it, and they can actually learn by listening to a summary of all the resources that you put in. Okay? And the best thing about this is that this podcast is really in natural conversational language. It's between two people, maybe a male and a female, talking about the subject matters. And with our recent developments in Gemini and Notebook LM, you can even interject the two avatars speaking. So for example, they're speaking about trends in faculties of AI around the world. I put in resources, I put in audio overview, a podcast, and two persons or two avatars are speaking. I can interject like a guest in a radio station. So two DJs speaking, I can interject and ask questions about what the resources are, and they will actually answer me through audio and conversations also. So, and that is also using AI. So your students can have a conversation with avatars based on your resources. If you don't like audio, you can generate a video. So with the power of VO3, we also can generate an 8-second video or less than 10 seconds video based on the resources that you put in. You can control the template, the layouts of that video, and it will give you a good summary of that resources. So for example, UTM has an open day, and I'm a person that wants to go into UTM. I will upload all the resources about UTM, what kind of university you are, how many branches you have, how many students, all the information that you need for an open day, and I can give to the prospective students this chatbot. You set up a kiosk, put a chatbot there, and the students can ask all about UTM. What faculties are available? Who is actually teaching this? What modules are there? And for those who want a video overview, I could also create a video. So I'm not saying that you don't need an official videographer to create an official video, but sometimes you just want things to happen very quickly, or you can actually have an audio overview of what UTM is all about based on your resources. So if someone asks something apart from the resources you put in, it will not give an answer. For those students who study with mind maps, or for those students who study with flashcards, lecturers can now generate digital flashcards and also mind maps using the materials that you upload into Notebook LM. So I urge all the lecturers today, notebooklm.google.com, sign in with your university ID, upload resources, and see the magic happen. And share the chat features with your students, and generate audio overviews, video overviews, and you can see the magic of AI happening at your fingertips. And all of you in the room today, with a university ID, have access to this right now. Okay? So number one, gemini.google.com. Number two, notebooklm.google.com. And these are all powered by our learning language models. So if you're thinking about using AI much more advanced, okay, Notebook LM is the second step that you can take. Next, please. Okay, there's actually a video, but I'm not going to play the video. For those students or lecturers who want to do deep research, okay, specifically deep research. Whenever you want to do deep research, what is the first thing you do? You go to google.com and you search on the topic, and it will give you hundreds of pages of the research materials. So what do? 5 years ago, you have to go to every single one of them, probably, to look into the resources that is relevant to what you want to find. So you click one page, you click second page, and there's going to be hundreds of it. Deep research, in gemini.google.com, there is a prompt box, and there's a button called deep research. When you click on deep research and you prompt, let's say I want to prompt about how do I actually explain photosynthesis, very simple question. It will do the work for you. So Gemini will actually search. So traditionally you go to google.com, you search yourself, right? Now you prompt, and Gemini will help you search the whole of internet, education journals, education sites, legitimate education websites, to give you information about photosynthesis. It will do that, and it will cite hundreds of websites for you in a matter of minutes. So apart from you going to each website every single time, Gemini will now help you search all these websites. And if you want to put it in APA format, for example, you can prompt it that way. So it will give you all the websites, it will give you all the citations available that is connected to your prompts. So when you do deep research, it also tells you how it's doing deep research. It will say that I'm analyzing your prompt, I will research these websites, it will give you a list of websites, and I will actually generate this report where you can export to Google Docs, for example. So the ability for us to really save time when doing deep research is real. From taking a few days to just a few minutes is something where students who are actually doing masters or PhD really value. And for lecturers, when you want to find out more about new topics, new curriculums, you can also do deep research in a matter of minutes. What is the one thing that we cannot do? We cannot copy paste, okay? When I say copy paste, I'm not saying that you cannot copy and paste literally, but think of it as just a guidance for you that you can improve on. So when it gives you an output, you don't just copy and paste and you send it to your dean and say, hey, Mr. Dean, now have a new lesson plan. Don't do that. So it gives you a skeleton, a guidance, an ideate for you on how you can actually do this. So for students in the room, when you go to gemini.google.com, log in with your university ID, and you click on deep research before you prompt, then it will give you all the research that you need for your existing assignments, for example. And if you have existing assignments, this is the best time to do it. For lecturers who want to research on new materials for your topics, do the same thing, gemini.google.com, click on deep research before you prompt, and when you prompt, it will actually show you a lot of exciting features and citations. Step number 3 to use AI, doing deep research. So first one, simple chatbot. Second one, using Notebook LM, where it's based on just your resources. Thirdly, doing deep research is also possible in a few minutes versus many days. And that is the power of AI today. So use it, ethically, of course, responsibly, and we really adhere to a lot of your privacy concerns. Okay, next slide. Okay, who here does programming or coding in your spare time or in your university? All right. So there's this word called vibe coding now, where you think you're a coder or a programmer, but you're not. You prompt specific scenarios. I want to create a game out of my subject, for example, and I'm using, let's say right now, cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a very detailed, in-depth subject, but as a lecturer, for example, I want to create a game for my students to learn about cybersecurity. So all the lecturers in the room, when you go to gemini.google.com, you click on this feature called Canvas. So just now was deep research. You click on this feature called Canvas, and you prompt, I would like to create a game for my cybersecurity students to learn about certain modules, pen testing, this and that. It will give you all the code in the world, and you don't have to think about learning programming any longer. So what it does is that it will give you certain lines of code where you can copy and paste into Google Sites, and voila, your game is ready. A lot of K-12 teachers today use this to gamify their math subject and science subjects, where they create games for their students. And typically when you want to create games for your students, you have to learn about programming, you have to get developers. But today, any lecturer in the room who wants to gamify or make your subject much more visually attractive to your students, do vibe coding. Use Canvas, get the codes, paste it on Google Sites, and publish it, and you have a working website where you can gamify your subject instantly. So for those students who are thinking about, okay, I would like to actually create a website or create an application or just find time to do some side projects. There you go, gemini.google.com, log in with your university ID, go and click on Canvas before the text prompt box, type in your prompt, and all the codes will be there, copy paste to Google Sites, and there you go, you have your application instantly. So this is also the power of AI. The power of AI for you to prompt, learn, personalize, share your resources, create podcasts, video overview, mind maps, digital flashcards, and all this in a matter of even sometimes less than a minute. So the power of AI for everyone is really in your hands to take advantage of. So Google for Education is a strategic partner with the Ministry of Higher Education and of course the Ministry of Education in Malaysia. And our mandate is to ensure that we empower two things for teachers and students. Number one, the power of AI. So we heard about AI, and when people think about AI, people think about ChatGPT, right? Because that is the front runner in the AI race before. But today you have tons of AI platforms, and today I'm of course promoting Gemini for Education for everyone. So our mandate is our AI for every student and every lecturer today. So today in this hall, there's going to be a lot of you who already have smart devices at the palm of your hands. You have access to all whatever I have shown you today. Log in and you have access to the power of AI in the palm of your hands. Number two, what's our mandate? So Google for Education is also promoting the reskilling and upskilling of technology or professional certifications for lecturers and also students. So today we are also promoting, that students should graduate with an add-on certifications from the industry. So for example, in the future, Tan Sri, maybe UTAM graduates can also graduate with Google certifications that make them a bit more unique in the job or talent pool in Malaysia, and maybe can also export this to other countries. So we have not had that conversation, but maybe it's a prelude to a partnership that we can have with UTAM. Okay, next. So who in the room has a best friend? Sensitive question. So, GEMS. So when you go to gemini.google.com, GEMS is a customized version of Gemini where it can be an expert or an assistant for you. Okay? So for example, in this example, there is a GEMS or an avatar, if I can put it in layman's term, who is identified as a learning coach. So this person or this avatar will be my learning coach to learn about photosynthesis. So for lecturers, how can this really resonate with you is that sometimes in schools or institutions, you have assistant teachers or assistant lecturers. But if they're not there, you can create a persona where you are an assistant lecturer in cybersecurity and this is your task. You put it on GEMS, and every time you want to seek for ideation or brainstorming, if you don't have this physical person, you can go to gemini.google.com and that person is virtually available for you already. For students, for example, if I'm learning about E equal mc squared, Albert Einstein, I can create a GEMS, you are Albert Einstein, and you have all the knowledge in the world about all the projects that Albert Einstein used to do, all the formulas that he created and all that, and Albert Einstein will be that virtual avatar that's available on GEMS, and you can ask it anything and it will respond to you in the tone of Albert Einstein. So, what is the one thing that you cannot do with this? This cannot be an emotional buddy, okay? So that's why I said, if you have a best friend, talk to your best friend. So this can be used for teaching and learning. You create an avatar that will help you in teaching. You create an avatar to help you learn better in a specific subject matter, but this cannot be an emotional buddy. You cannot say that, okay, James, you are my best friend and you will actually learn about all my mistakes and advise me. Don't do that, okay? Because for you, I think you need a real human connection when it comes to that scenario. But James can be that personalized expert for you to learn better and also teach better. Gemini.google.com, sidebar GEMS, okay? Everyone has access to this, by the way. Next. Okay, that was the first part. So the first part was for me to show everyone in the room that all of you and each and every one of you with a university ID has access to AI in the palm of your hands already. The power of Gemini as a chatbot, the power of Notebook LM, powered by our learning language model to give you additional avenues to teach and learn better with the resources that you upload. I also showed you about Canvas in terms of vibe coding. You know, if you are not a programmer or a coder, you are today after this session. I showed you about deep research. If you are taking, you know, a master's or PhD, or if you are a lecturer who wants to really do a lot more research in your subject matters, you can also do that as deep research in Gemini.google.com. And GEMS, an AI expert buddy for you in the classroom. So next is how might we use AI to foster independent learning? And this goes back to a use case that I've used in my first context. Next slide. So we go to a university example, UPM, on how a student actually uses Notebook LM in terms of studying and learning better. So the student will actually have a lot of resources from the lecturer. The student uploads it onto Notebook LM, and the student can immediately, without reading all these chapters, immediately search on what he or she wants to learn about the subject. If the student wants to do digital flashcards, or the student wants to embrace mind maps or learn about the subject using mind maps, he or she can also do that immediately. So it's not just lecturers using Notebook LM, it's also students who want to ensure that they are able to learn better with all the resources that the lecturers give them. Because sometimes lecturers give resources, it could be one or two, but that one or two has hundreds of pages. And for the student attention span to really read every single thing could be really taking a toll on their time and burning them out. So what the student can do, and all you students in the room can do, upload your lecturer's resources into Notebook LM and learn better by using the prompts, generating your own audio and video, using the mind maps and digital flashcards so that you can actually learn better. So for those of you who are preparing for final exams, or for those of you who are actually going to sit for exams, please, if you have a lot of materials from your lecturers, use Notebook LM. And this is a prime use case from UPM that we have seen for a student group to actually really use Notebook LM as efficiently as possible. And the prompts are very simple. It's simple English. The prompts from the student is something like generate study guides that include key terms and sample quiz questions based directly on my sources for it. So for a student using simple natural English, you can actually prompt and actually use AI for learning efficiently. So for the students in the room, apart from just using AI platforms to find answers, if you have materials from your lecturers already, use Notebook LM, upload your materials, and learn better. Next, please. So, how might we use AI to prepare students for an AI-driven world? So if we use AI in teaching and learning, we need to prepare our students for an AI-driven world. That means we expect every single student, for example, coming into UTM in the future, that's coming from the Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation, to have this expectation where, okay, my lecturers will need to allow me to use AI in my classroom or in my studying or learning. Before, what does transformation look like before? Before, transformation looked like maybe 10 years ago is a device and a projector, and that is transformation in the classroom. But today, it's not enough. The generation or the younger generation wants more. They want better technologies. They have access to better technologies which are free and available at no additional cost, and they expect to be using AI in the classrooms. So next slide, please. This is a use case from UC Riverside that really integrates AI tools like Gemini and Notebook LM to prepare students for the future of work. So Google as a whole in Malaysia, we are investing $2 billion in the country. And this is not only to build data centers, not only to create jobs, but provide infrastructure that is relevant for students today. So the undergraduates will be graduating this year or the next few years. When you go out to the job market, please, you need to be ready with certain AI skills, no matter what jobs, technical, non-technical. A lot of HR, finance, admin jobs today require the use of AI. And it could be the AI in terms of just prompt engineering or looking at resources like Notebook LM. Secondly, is that lecturers today need to relearn a lot of skill sets. That means if you today are not using AI in your classroom, your students will be using it, and you need to ensure that you are at par with their skill sets. So, unlearn, relearn, reskill with AI. Next, please. Okay. Before I head on to security, why Google? Why is Google a strategic partner with KPT and KPM? Because every single tool, from devices to cloud to software as a service to our AI, is all developed by Google in-house. That means we did not acquire third-party companies to do the AI for us. Google for Education, specifically, 19 years ago, and Google is a very young company. We are only 27 years old, yeah, by the way. Believe it or not, 27 years old. I'm older than Google. So, Google for Education, we hired school leaders, we hired teachers, we hired professors to create a division called Google for Education 19 years ago. And why? It's because all the tools that you see in the ecosystem before is all made for governments. It's all made for enterprises. It's not meant for teaching and learning. It's not meant for students. It's not meant for teachers. But Google for Education was formed, and we provided solutions that's only meant for education. Google for Education provides Gemini for Education, Notebook LM, for example, a lot of deep research with Gemini. So these are all mandated for education. So if you are a lecturer or student today you have access to a lot of education-centric tools. And Google for Education, the full stack of our education stack, is really meant just for education. And we did not acquire any third-party companies to develop our solution for education. But we are flexible. While we provide the full stack, we are also flexible to work with other companies. We share our APIs with other companies so that we can work with them to complement their solutions. Next, please. And as I mentioned, everything from devices to our learning language models to our software and cloud infrastructure is all designed, implemented, and deployed by Google. Next, please. Okay, a bit of controversial slide. So, since 3/4 of you are using Gemini, that means you are now using the latest and greatest version of Gemini today. Equally, all the AI platforms that is available globally are equally all good. Okay? I'm not saying that they're not great. They're all good. So if you prompt, you'll have responses. If you want to ideate and brainstorm, they are also responses. And it's all really stemmed to the reasoning of cognitive load, active learning, curiosity. So everything is all stemmed by all this grounding. Why are we a leader in AI? Is because, as I mentioned, number one, we did not acquire anyone else to do our AI for us. And number two, Google for Education is only giving you the outcomes from an education perspective. But it comes to my next topic, which is security. The ability for Google to really ring-fence our technology to education is something where we have been provided a lot of feedback before. So when Gemini was actually launched, it was only launched to users who are 18 years and above. It was only this year that we actually launched it for students of all ages. Yeah. So it's not that we did not have the trust in a lot of users under 18, but we foresee that by giving access to Gemini very early to a lot of users, there might be signs of abuse. So because of this, we ring-fence Gemini for Education just for education, and we open it up now to all ages. That means every one of you in the room now have access to Gemini for Education, and you have access to all the tools that I've shown you today. And that makes us a leader. The thought process of making sure that AI is being used ethically, responsibly, and really ensuring that there is some sort of thought process on data privacy is what makes us a leader. So I'm not saying that other AI platforms are not equally good, but Gemini is greater. Okay? Next, please. Okay. So, giving you AI, giving you a lot of tools, giving you workspace for education, which you are actually using today for your email, your cloud storage, Google Meets and all that, there's a high sense of security that we need to adhere to. And Google never stops protecting your digital safety. So every single day, we help millions of users in terms of trying to adopt a lot of our security policies. So there are 3 types of demographics that are quite concerning, and maybe later from Fortinet there's also something similar. So number 1, students are more prone to scam today, okay? And why am I saying this is because students need to believe that there are things like multi-factor authentication which you need to set. There are certain AI or security policies that you need to, set. It's just that students are not taught about all of this until they go to a corporate or working life. So when I talk to students, for example, in most of the universities, do you actually do multi-factor authentication on your email, your university, or not your university email, your private email? A lot of the answers is no. It's because it's just another step that, it's just troublesome for them. But students, there are more than 5.5 million students in Malaysia, and I can tell you, a lot of these scams happens with students. So students are this number 1 target or demographic of people where scammers usually target because they don't have multi-factor authentication, and that's the most minimal that you can get in terms of privacy. So Google, when we work with your universities or when we work with KPT or KPM, for example, this is a mandate, this is a policy that we really try to enforce, where all users must have access to 2-factor authentication. Google has 3. So Google employees, we even have a USB dongle where we need to scan our fingerprints and all that. So every single time we speak to students, one of the things that I usually ask is, on your personal email, you should already be thinking about multi-factor authentication. Number 2, what is the second demographics of society or people that is prone to security risk are demographics of people above 50 years old. And you know why? So I came here about, 9 o'clock? And I'm not saying that everyone is above 50 country. But the amount of people who just unlocks their phone using the password in front of everyone is just phenomenal. Just imagine you unlocking your phone with a lot of information, and it's in front of everyone, they can see your password, and that's it. That's all it takes for someone to just grab it and just hack your information. Demographics of users above 50 years old need to be mindful about security too. And while multi-factor authentication works, there needs to be a lot of awareness in terms of the implications of security risk. So for all those lecturers in the room, just now I was probably talking about students, now I'm talking about lecturers. For all those lecturers in the room who tend to do 2 things. Number 1 is leave your laptops unlocked on the desk in your lecture rooms. Please do not do that. And number 2, for those lecturers who unlock your phones in front of your students, please don't do that anymore. Okay? And while we have all the policies, configurations, it comes to you as a person to ensure that you are mindful of your own security. What is the third demographic of people that has a lot of security risk today? Children under 12 years old. Now you can see that Malaysia is trying to increase the limit of using social media, for example, and devices, trying to ban Roblox as a game, for example. There's a lot of implications or security risks when you actually get devices and technology to the hands of users under 12 years old. And who's at fault? It's not the schools, it's not their friends, it's the parents. So if you are a parent in the room, please try to limit the usage of technology with your children. And secondly, for users under 12 years old, it's because they don't know what is right, what is wrong. If I'm on Roblox and I chat with a random stranger, I gave my house address, my phone number and all that, easy peasy for hackers. Secondly, for those who are under 12 years old, who do not have passwords on their devices, easy peasy. I can access all the images, airdrop it to my phone and all that. So Google, as a company, we try to raise a lot of awareness around security. And when we try to raise awareness, it comes in multiple forms. Number one is awareness at the ministry level. Number two, awareness at the institution level. And number three, awareness at the user level. So when we introduce a lot of our security features, we tend to tell users to log in using your own university ID that hopefully has multi-factor authentication, because it ring-fences a lot of privacy and security policies with that single identity. And we help millions of users every single year to really do security checkups. And if you are one of those users who are using Gmail day in, day out at your university or personally, please refine your security posture. And if you have demographics of users in your household who are above 50 or below 12, please also be mindful of their security. Because we never know, one day, certain information might be leaked which could compromise the reputation of the institution, for example. Just one thing could compromise the reputation of any single organization. Next, please. I will not talk too much about this, but what it says is that prevention is better than cure. When I say get your multi-factor authentication going, be mindful of your security posture, it's really to ensure that prevention is better than cure. Do it now so you don't regret it later. Okay? Next, please. And of course, why are we also a strategic partner to KPT and a lot of universities around the world is that we adhere to a lot of compliance policies globally. So GDPR, for example, EU privacy and data sets, for example. And we are not foreign to all this. We work with industry players. We also work with governments around the world to ensure that we comply to data security and privacy. Next, please. Next. Okay. One of the quotes here from the exec director for Wake Forest University is, it's quite common in higher education to invest in multiple tools to obtain functionality like single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, data loss prevention. So leveraging Google Workspace for Education Plus for these three capabilities also saves us. The reason why KPT has invested in Google and the reason why KPT has also assigned the licenses to all of the universities that's in the room today is because of this trust level. The trust level where Google, through a single admin console, can control every single security aspect that you have within your organization. The ability for us to really give you dashboards as leaders in the room, give you dashboards in terms of what works, what can be prevented, and what really saves a lot of data breach within your organization. Because it only takes one data breach to ruin the reputation of any organization. Next. So, coming back to what if. So, what if today you actually use all the tools that you have that I've actually shown you, using your University ID, login to Gemini, Notebook LM. What if you had the thought of really upskilling and reskilling in terms of your AI or technology skill sets? What if you actually enhance your security posture is something that you probably want to think about today? And what if you wanted to work for a multinational company in the future? It all stems and starts with you. Next, please. Next. Okay. Thank you. So today, I've showed you a lot. The power of AI to reduce burnouts, to reduce the amount of time that it takes for you to do a lot of deep teaching and learning, the power of how Google as a technology really is invested in empowering AI and skill sets for everyone, and of course, looking at security as top of mind for every single user in the room. So if there is any doubts in terms of how we can effectively help you better, please reach out to us, and I'm still around. I have time for questions, and really I appreciate UTAM for inviting Google. It's not every day Google can be invited for this kind of events or stand in front. So thank you, UTAM, for inviting Google today to be part of this session, and I hope it inspires a lot of teachers and students to do better with AI. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for the insightful sharing on how Google Education empowers and creates opportunity for learners and educators.
And ladies and gentlemen, to express our deepest appreciation, we would now like to invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Vice Chancellor to accompany Yang Berbahagia Datuk Husaini bin Omar, Chairman of the University's Board of Directors, to present a token of appreciation to Mr. Daniel Azizan. Please welcome on the stage. Once again, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Daniel Azizan, the head of country for Google for Education, for his insights on AI and cybersecurity. We thank you, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Dr. Husaini bin Omar, and Yang Berbahagia Datuk Vice Chancellor, as well as Mr. Daniel Azizan for the session just now. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to session 3, Industry Keynote, and brought to you by the Cybersecurity Consortium.
It is our great honor to welcome Mr. Zulkarnain Asnawi from Fortinet Malaysia to deliver his keynote address entitled Cybersecurity at the Core, Safeguarding Innovation in a Hyper-Connected World.
Mr. Zulkarnain, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dan selamat tengah hari, salam sejahtera. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri serak pula saya sebenarnya. Tan Sri Abdul Rashid Hussein, Pro Chancellor UTAM. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Masilah Kamaluddin, Vice Chancellor UTAM, dan juga yang bahagia Dr. Husaini Omar, Chairman University Board of Director. Yang dihormati juga tenaga-tenaga pengajar UTAM dan juga tenaga-tenaga pengajar teknologi, Universiti Teknologi yang hadir bersama kami, dan juga yang saya kasihi para pelajar yang bakal menjadi pemimpin pada masa hadapan yang kelak, sama ada di peringkat negara, pertubuhan ataupun organisasi. Tuan dan puan pengurusi majlis, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Dengan ini, izinkan saya beralih kepada bahasa Inggeris untuk persembahan saya, untuk buat pembentangan saya, sebab pembentangan teknikal ni kalau dalam bahasa Melayu agak sukar. Orang kata tergeliat lidah kadang-kadang nak mention just certain things lah. Okay. Please. Okay, sebelum ni saya nak perkenalkan sedikit Fortinet, who is Fortinet is. Unlike Google, every day when you power on your notebook, you're going to see Google. Chances are going to be there, right? But Fortinet, most of the time people do not know Fortinet unless they have problem. When you have problem and suddenly you have data breach, only then you realize, oh, actually we do have a cybersecurity company that behind us. So this is the nature of cybersecurity. People remember us when they are in trouble. When they are not in trouble, they don't even remember any one of us. But again, we are always there for you, invisible behind the line. So that's reality, okay? We start actually about 2000, and then we, I would say that give the ideas how to emerge the network and cybersecurity together. Because we are the first industry to come up with the ideas. Which before I joined Fortinet, I had this problem because people are saying is that network is network, you know, host is host, security is security, everything is isolated. I'm having problem because how is it isolated when everybody or everything is connected, like what you mentioned today, is hyper-connected. So a long time ago, I already have this problem. And come 2000, basically, Fortinet come up with the idea and push the industry, saying that network and infrastructure and cybersecurity cannot be isolated anymore. So if you come in from my era, I think you remember basically that I would say that the segregation is very clear. Security do not interfere with network or access and vice versa. But today it's no longer. All right? Next. What we try to be basically today is, after 25 years in operation, is we want to be the best of breed in cyber research and protections. Why this is important? You can have the best technology devices in the world today. Trust me, you can do it. With the advance of the manufacturing, the advance of engineering, you can produce the best performing box or anything that you want to produce. But if you do not have a research behind it, how good your appliance can be. Today, we can see a lot of things happening after Ifacs. Therefore, that this intelligence is one of the most important pillars in our industry, in the cybersecurity industry, and definitely the most important part in Fortinet. Secondly is that best of breed performance. That's what we want to be excelled at. And the others basically is automations. I think our speaker, Cik Daniel, just now talking about burnout, is related to this, and there's a reason why we want to do it. And there's also another aspect that I will relate back to what Cik Daniel was talking about, and then what my experience or our experience in the academic industry. Okay, next please. Okay. These are the pillars of technology. FortiOS is the only OS basically that powering all Fortinet devices. We don't have multiple OS. What it means basically is simplicity for you to operate across all platforms, all devices. So therefore that it's increase your efficiencies and improve your learning capability. The other part is the ASIC. Remember the performance? We do not rely on the third-party devices or third-party chips. We build our own chips. So I think, how many of you using Apples today? Apple phone? Apple ecosystem? Wow, there's a lot. So we are basically similar like Apple. So we build our own OS, we build our own chips, we build our own hardware. So why? Because we want to be in a full control of what the heading and the direction, and we don't want to be dependent of third-party devices or third-party technology. Okay, cloud and so on. So FortiGuard is basically the intelligence that behind us that give you and basically feeding my CERT, Cybersecurity Malaysia, and few other agencies in the world with all the intelligence that they need to do their work. To date, which I do not include in my slide, we have helped Interpol to capture more than 1,000 cyber criminals globally. And we have shut down more than we have shut down 1,300 plus scam operators all over the world. By working with Interpol, basically, these are the things that we can contribute to the society. So that's how Fortinet's play in this work. Next, please. In general, basically, this is what our ecosystem is all about. We're looking at secure networking, we're looking at basically security operation, that's how you operate your environment, and then we're looking at how to control your access. And most importantly, if you look at the top right there, where's my friend Google? We are part of the ecosystems. There are more than 300 plus, basically, ecosystem that we collaborate with. And then we are basically the engine behind them to protect and to provide and to serve all the customers. So if you're using Google right now, don't be afraid. We are tightly binded to them, and then we can integrate Google technology with our technology to become seamless. Right? Next, please. Okay. And we are also the largest, the most recognized industry player, recognized by industry. Basically, all our product, there are 12 of them we mentioned. For your information, basically we have a total of, I believe last count, I have about 69 products for cybersecurity. So we are the largest product in the industry. Okay, so 12 of them is mentioned, and then 5 of them basically already in the major quadrant. Okay, all right. Next, and in US, we are one of the trusted, the top 10 trusted company in US. Cybersecurity company, to cover all industries, including educations. If you look at it, all the major industries, we are there. Okay, that's why we are. But again, surprisingly, we need to introduce ourselves because we are not the front end all the time. They're like Google, you power up your notebook, the Google is going to be there. All right, next please. Okay, this is interesting. What's the current landscape right now? Next. Oops, going back. These are something that not new. All of you faced it. Innovation. Anybody don't want innovation? To be secure, be honest with you, my personal opinion, forget about innovations, go back disconnected, get connected, but can we live without it? Can we live with that? We cannot. That's the answer to it. But the more we innovate, the more footprint basically provide for people to penetrate and to use against us. That's reality today. So, adik-adik, para pelajar, remember that. I know you guys like TikTok. I know you guys like Instagram. Fine with me, but be careful. You provide a footprint for people to add on it. I will cover with you some statistics. Next, please. Then come the technology and AI. Everybody using it, university using it, the major industry using it. Next. But, is the AI good or bad thing? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. The bad actor also using it. And they're using it effectively. So you got to remember that. AI is good. Make it more efficient, but to whom and for whom? That's something that a lot of you have to think about, okay? Next, please. Okay. All these basically, you know, all the innovations, the applications, the network, all your devices, mobile devices, whatever devices that you create in this world, when you put it all together, you imagine how much complex the IT department, especially cybersecurity department, need to manage. Things are getting more complicated. That's the impact of it. But these are the things that we choose to, and we cannot run with it, and the complication, we have to inherit it. Okay? Next, please. So what do we need today? If you are a network operator today or you are cybersecurity, by the way, I need to know how many of you in cybersecurity field today? Can you raise your hand? Wow. There's a big corner that side, there's some corner there and there. Few here. I would say that you are not more than 20% of the audience. Am I right? You agree with that? If you are lucky, you are 20%, but most of the time, my experience, you're only 5% of the populations. But your responsibility is very high to cover 100% of the population. That's the reality, okay? So what is it you need? What you need basically an intelligence that to help you move faster, basically with the lesser people, you can act more and you can do faster things. Like Tan Sri mentioned, we are lacking of basically around 60,000 cybersecurity professionals still needed. And be honest with you, Cybersecurity in Malaysia, for Fortinet, we are one of the global center of excellence in Malaysia. My organization, my unit, basically is only about 50 people. We have about 280. The remaining basically is doing R&D and also support services globally. So if any one of you after graduate, you want to give it a try, a shot with the Fortinet, you are welcome. The reason is we are still looking for talents, and like Malaysians, even though we are at principal level, MNC, Tan Sri, we still short of people. So we are welcome, any one of you, give it a try. I know that we have accepted many students from other universities. I'm not sure that whether some other UTM university has been accepted. You are much more welcome to give it a try working with us. So any one of you want to work with MNC, we are one of the choice that you can consider. And you will be having experience supporting and facing the challenge, global challenge that 24/7, that what world is facing. That means you will be interacting with the European, the people in Americas, the people like in the other part of Asia and so on. And you will see how complicated the world can be. But I promise you, it's a very enriching journey for all of you. Okay? Next, please. Okay. In the past, this is what our study indicate. For people to realize they were vulnerable took them at least 21 days. This is only to discover, oh, I'm exposed. This is reality study here. This is what the study that we did in our customer base before they move into AI intelligence cybersecurity operations. So by the time that you try to react, for all you know, a lot of your data has been siphoned out. So what our objective is to reduce to less than 1 hour, and we managed to do that based on the report that we issued. Okay, we implemented, managed it properly. We can detect a lot of intrusion a lot easier. That's our intentions. Next, please. Now come the AI. You agree with this statement? Any one of you? Yes. Or do I make this session too serious that everybody now is becoming afraid to say anything? Don't worry, I'm still a human being. I'm not AI agent. Okay? But this is the truth. Next, please. Okay, for those who are TikTokers, those who are the instant famous, because I'm not that good in social media, but I know that a lot of you guys are better than that. Look at the top one. Deepfake, AI-powered phishing. So a lot of these are tools that are generated by the AI. Negatively employed, not positively. So in the first session, we're talking about positive, how we use the AI. But there's also another aspect of negative aspect of it. So for all you know, whatever threat you have is not human generated anymore. Human feel tired, I feel tired. I think my record for not sleeping more beyond 24 hours, I think 3.5 days. After that, seriously, you will go cuckoo. That's the limit of any human being, about 3 to 4 days without sleep. If you're in the military, you know that sleep is very important, so they try to get sleep as much as they can before they burn out. Okay? Alright, next please. Please, one more. Look at the top numbers. Per seconds. Imagine basically every time you post something on the internet, 36,000 elements will be scanned per second. This is what we find out globally. So be careful what you publish out there. Especially those who do like to, I would say, announce their life event. Oh, I'm somewhere in the island, I'm leaving my home, my entire family. Hey, what are you doing there? You basically announce the rest of the world, my house is empty. Come and try to rob me. That's what it means. So be careful. Understand what you published on the internet. What does it mean in the context of your living? I'm not saying it's applicable to me and it's also applicable to you. But in your own context, you have to be aware. What does it mean? Okay. Look at exploitation. There's a lot more. And what I'd like to basically look at the last slide there, 43% faster vulnerability exploitations. In the past, anytime that, let's say that Windows or any OS or any application say that, oh, we found a vulnerability, on average, took them about 3 weeks to 4 weeks for people to exploit it, and then become something that very dangerous. Today, with AI, what do you think? 2 days. If today basically I say that I found vulnerability somewhere else, in 2 days' time somebody will try to exploit it. That's how fast things has moved with AI. So that's why that you need to be careful what you're doing out there. Okay? Next please. We did a survey in Asia and also in Malaysia in particular, but I only want to share you what we found in Malaysia alone. This survey is done early this year with IDC. You know IDC basically do a lot of data collections and then analysis, what's going on, so we work with them. Cover basically all range of verticals. The only thing they will not cover government, because government have a lot of secrecy that they cannot reveal. And the policy basically is not to reveal anything for that matter. Okay. Next. How do they feel, whether they faced it or not, the attack? They do feel it. More than half basically saying that they're experiencing AI-based attack. This is Malaysia, not Asia number, right? So it's reality today. It's no longer, except that you may not feel it. The reason why you don't feel it, because only 20% of us, maximum 20%, which normally I say less, that really has to face this in reality. That means looking at the screen, looking at the analysis, looking at the forensic, we find out that this is the AI base. If we are lucky, we detect it. If we are not, it just slip through. Next please. The top 5 AI threat, automated zero-day exploit. I think for those who are not familiar what is zero-day exploit, basically, generally speaking, it is backed by country. A country basically that try to penetrate another country or to make, I would say, disruption to another country. And our internal report, I'm not sure whether we can share, I think we can, right? Yeah, I think we can share that last month we received internal report, several of our ministry is already a prime target for it. Yes. So I think we are in the middle of discussing with the ministry saying that these are statistics we find and then some trails, then perhaps things will go positive in that manner. This is our discovery, okay? If you look at it, all of these are AI assisted. Okay, so that means the bad guy now can go to sleep like us, 9 to 5, and leave their AI agent running around by itself. Next, please. Then we look at basically how many of them can say that they know how to tackle this thing. If you look at it, only 1 out of 5 say that they are able to do it. Okay, let's put it in context. This number may not mean anything to you, but let's put it in context in the Malaysian economy. I think Tan Sri is aware of this. 85% of Malaysian economy is generated by SME, small medium enterprise, SME. Right, Tan Sri? Now, these are very small group of companies. They don't have all this expertise. Do you think they can survive if they get attacked? If 50% of 85% basically cannot bring up their business again, what is impact to our economy? So only about 25% is a big giant, people like Maybank, Petronas and so on. Yes, they have the capability to invest. to protect themselves, but they do not play the majority of our economy. They are not the major player. The major player is still SME or SME. That's what worrying to us. So these statistics, you put in context of the Malaysian economy, it will be very scary. Okay? All right, next please. Who said that cyber risk is a crisis? You know what's the definition of crisis, right? It happens once in a while and you have to react on it. That's what risk is all about. And that's what a crisis is all about. But the moment crisis is continuously happening, it's no longer a crisis. It's become a lifestyle. It's become a constant. So these are the things that we have to face. I mean, my colleagues in industry is facing this, like seriously. Sometimes it's burning a midnight oil nights after nights after nights. Despite that we are competing with each other, surprisingly that we also cooperate with each other in order just to protect the country or to protect the interests of a human being. Next please. This is what the consumer, you're going to have 5 to 7%, it's quite normal. But look at what's increasing beyond that. In the past, basically, we talk about scam, right? A lot of people get scammed, everything, and so on, fraud, and so on. It's only 5 to 7%. But if you look at it, the top chain, a supply chain, this is very, very serious thing. You're talking about industrial level. You're talking about people understanding from your supply chain, from the beginning until the end result, people are already studying you. People are looking into your vulnerability. I'll give you an example. If you're a defense contractor, for example, right? If you, let's say that I used to work with the aircraft industry. Any of your supply chain, basically, okay, just roll back. Nobody in the world produce aircraft by themselves. Airbus, for example, is the wings is developed by someone else from different country. The fuselage, different engine. You know, they have GE and they have Rolls-Royce. All are different company and they put it together. That's from your supply chain. Imagine that one of those basically become vulnerable. The end product, which is Airbus industry, is also vulnerable. So put us in this scenario, we are nowhere to escape. That's the reality of today, okay? Down. Next. Oh. By the way, 50% of those breach is more than $500,000 US, yeah, in Malaysia. That's how we record it. So, how much is our current exchange today to US dollar? 4.3, right? So that's already 2 million per loss, per incidents that we're losing. Next, please. So this is what, when Cik Daniel just talking about burnout, in general, basically to tenaga pengajar, student, but this is going to be burnout for the cybersecurity operator moving forward. There will be too many things to manage. There will be too many, I would say that, a point of interest for you to investigate, a lot of clues for you to investigate and to make sense out of it. If you do it manually, I tell you, a lot of you will resign within 3 months. I'm serious. You need AI to help us in order to fight another AI. That's reality today. Next, please. Okay. The full result, basically, I make it available. Part of our commitment to the world. We're not going to publish papers. We give electronics. Please scan the QR code if you want to have it. Done? Why is everybody laughing? I'm giving you a report. Why is everything laughing? Now, what's the point here? What I'm saying is, I am just a regular guy, low-level employee, standing in front of you, dressing up good with a coat, and manage to address Tan Sri, Yang Berhormat Dato, everything and so on. You guys believe me. When I say scan, you guys scan. What does it mean? Socially, you are not ready to face the world in the cybersecurity. Now everybody speak. Okay, Tan Sri, kalau Tan Sri scan, saya minta maaf. Ini cuma gurauan dia. But reality is, this is how. So when Cik Daniel kata student, how many of you scan? Come on, don't be shy. I know a lot of you scan. Okay, this is what he means. You are one of the vulnerable groups that can be scanned. That includes my daughter. I had that experience. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, how to do this? How to address this? Pertama, at Fortinet, we are committed to provide learning security for general public. It's free. Go to our training website, log in, and then you get to learn yourself. And you get certificate for it. And that certificate only lasts for 2 years. After that, you have to re-educate yourself again and again, because 2 years, I think, is good enough for general public. But for us, internally, at Fortinet, every 6 months. And trust me, sometimes we even tricked by our president of the company, say whether we are on our foot or not. I think I failed once, and I have to redo all my course again. Some of my friends also fail lately, I know, because it's get a promising from the president saying that thank you very much, blah blah blah, and saying, you know, for the great effort you have done to the company, therefore that we are providing you with some gift benefits or whatever it is, please click the link. That's it, you're gone. You understand how the nature of it? People can impersonate everything, okay? But on top of that also, we also have a program with universities. I think some universities already, we provide free labs and free syllabus to be integrated into the academic. Whether you want to make it as elective or basically main course, we leave it to you. What we did is, there's a syllabus, there's a lab you can use for free, use it, as long as you don't make money out of it. That's our commitment to our society today. Okay? So I think we have UiTM is on board, MMU is on board. Who else is that? UMS and a few others, public universities on board. So I hope we can have UTM also on board, because these are free things. Make use of it. You can educate the entire populations, especially for those who graduate which is non-technical. The very least is you can say that I am a cybersecurity trained, even for non-technical. So bila nak minta kerja tu adalah orang kata additional brownies, okay? Because it's not easy. It's not cheap and it's not easy basically to train individual for cybersecurity. It is not. It takes time. It takes patience. All right? Okay. Next. So minta maaf everyone. Sorry very much. So I accidentally or purposely scam you. Okay, how do you countering the AI threats with AI? Masih lagi nak ketawa lagi ke because of the last event? Okay, enough. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, I hope somebody can develop the AI-based technology to stop me from scamming people like this. So can I put that a challenge to all the mahasiswa yang ada ni? Come up with something when you scan, prevent automatically saying that, identify whether this is a scammer or this is a valid QR code. That would be very great for society. Okay, next please. Okay. AI has been around for Fortinet for a long time, about 2010. We established about early 2000s. So after 10 years, immediately we developed ourselves, AI-based, with a big learning, machine learning and so on, and then we moved 2022 to generative, and then today basically we are moving to agentic AI. Okay. Back then our AI is that not used for public. Why is that? Why is that?
Security.
Why that we don't release our AI 2010?
Security.
Come on guys, you are faculty in AI. Okay, let me put you this way. To be a professional, you as a student, yeah, to graduate, degree or master's degrees, what's your journey? Learning, right? From nothing, you slowly increase to become somebody and become expertise. Like you guys, AI need to be taught, need to learn. So we only release it when it's ready, when we think it's matured enough, then we can embed it in our product and so on. That's what we did. It takes time. If you think you want to build your own, by all means you can. But be prepared, you need to grow it. Okay? It never happens overnight. Why? Because the context for Fortinet is different. For context of UTM will be different. And so is different industry different. Okay? So what people do today is, well, I don't want to teach or I don't want to start from the beginning, let's get whatever they already have there. So people like ChatGPT, Gemini and everything, yeah, people just inherit it. But remember, they have a parent. Whatever you learn here will fit up at the top level. Those you have to understand the contract that you sign with any AI-based platform. All right, thanks. Next. So all this basically that we learn has become like come from 6 million firewall all over the world. Some emails, some sensors that we distribute all over the world. What it does is, whatever that we learn, we make sense and then we're pushing to the customers. So this is where the update is very important. Okay? So for those who always tell customer, please do not forget to update your devices. Because it's very important what we learn. We're talking about trillions of things that we learn on a daily basis. So if you want to do it yourself, by all means you can. We're not going to stop you. But when we see the world, remember we are hyper-connected. Remember that there's no border. When it comes to IT and digital, there's no border. What you see today, and what I see basically today is UTM. But reality is, we are only like 5% of everything. That's what I like to see myself. There's a lot more things I do not know. All right, next please. We divide basically our architecture into three. One is basically to protect, AI protect, and the other one to assist, and the other one to secure AI. So I'm going to explain to you one by one what does it mean. I'm not going to go in detail, but roughly you have to understand what protect is and so on. Okay, next please. AI protect basically is the appliance or parameters that we put to protect your infrastructure, your interests. Either your data, any of your valuable asset, that's what we do. Okay, next please. It's prevent anybody with AI or any bad intention basically to penetrate your environment. Anything that harmful. That is only at the perimeter. Okay? That's what a protection is all about. Okay. Next please. Now, once we protect, once we receive a lot of threats, they have a lot of information for you to decipher. This is where I say that if you're doing manually, trust me, 3 months, 6 months, you will resign. You need AI based. You're talking about trillions or billions of resources that you need to, event that you need to look at it and to justify, what do I do with this thing? Do I drop it? Do I block it? Do I allow it? These are the things that we are dealing on a daily basis. Okay? And not to mention today, in the past that we were very reactive, right? You come, you try to attack me, I try to block you. But nowadays, that technique is obsolete. You have to be more, I wouldn't say offensive, but more proactive. You need to find, scan in the wild, beyond your parameter, what are the things that can harm my organizations. Okay? That's what threat hunting is all about. Next, please. So the whole idea is that the assist is, all the intelligence that we gathered for you and all the intelligence that you already have yourself, we can combine it and to assist you on how to react or how to defend yourself proactively. That's the whole objective, including your resource management. Next, please. So, from, like medical, we also have triage. You need to understand, when things happen, come to you, you need to understand, actually, what is this? Is this something you want to act on it, and where do you want to go? All this has to be done before we decide to block or not to block. How many of you start complaining long time ago with the IT department? Who in the world that blocked my email? Remember that? Siapa lah yang pandai-pandai block my access ni? If you are not careful, you become a disruptor within your environment. That's what this is all about, triage is all about, okay? Next, please. FortiAI Ops is one of the areas that can help you to optimize your network environment. We more or less try to detect and predict dekat mana that your network having problem, where is your resources that are limited and so on. So that will alleviate your function in terms of planning. So rather than you to manually go to the data statistics saying that, okay, next year I need to improve here and so on, we're going to do it for you. Okay, next please. This one I have to go a bit detailed. Why is it important? You already have AI, right? Next please. Okay. You got to remember, your AI is just another application. It's just another data collector. It's just another thing. Okay, I just want to be quick here for you to understand. There's a proverb basically. If you keep on telling lies again and again and again and again, and people start believing it, the lies become the truth. Think about it. If your AI engine basically being compromised or being taught negatively, contohnya is that I say that stealing is good, stealing is good, stealing is good. Eventually, everybody will say that, hey, stealing is a good thing to do. Don't worry about it. Am I right? So that's what we try to prevent here. You normalize basically the crime act into something that legalizing it. That's what we try to avoid here. Your LLM, or they call a learning machine, need to be protected from being corrupted. Same like all our student mahasiswa, same thing. But the funny thing is, what I found out in the industry, the more that we teach the students, guess what happened? The more record I saw that the student IP tried to penetrate or tried to do harms to the university's website. Trust me. Prof, you look at the statistic, you understand what I'm saying. So the IT guys, I think you know, and then the student, if you are into that, please, okay? Right. Next, please. Okay, next. I'm going to go quick on this. The whole idea is that your front application need to be protected, your data need to be protected so that nothing goes through and so on. So the entire, if you look at your AI infrastructure as any applications, you will understand that you need to protect it as is, except you need a special intelligence because you need another AI to protect another AI. Okay? Next please. That's mean the access we're going to control it. One way or another, the policy. Next. This is the methodology that we use basically to detect your AI-based application to make sure there's no vulnerability against known and unknown, and especially those that have anomalies. That is really unknown. We do not know. All right. Next, please. Any API, I know that you guys interconnected, inter-universities, those are the API you need to protect it. Same thing. Next. Talking about identity, impersonations. Any professor that lose their ID? Somebody impersonate you? It does happen. I come across several. So be careful. Professors, even students, be careful with this. All right? So we protect all from access, from the data, from application, and all the identity. Next, please. Leakage, fine, I already covered that. Next. Next. Okay, that's the end of my presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zulkarnain Asnawi, for the insightful sharing on how we can innovate responsibly and securely in today's digital landscape. It is indeed important to strike a critical balance between technological advancement and digital security.
And to convey our sincere appreciation, we would like to invite again on stage Yang berbahagia Datuk Husaini bin Omar, Chairman of University's Board of Directors, to present a token of appreciation to Mr. Zulkarnain Asnawi. Please welcome on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Zulkarnain Asnawi from Fortunate Malaysia for the fruitful discussion. So now I believe that we have been waiting for this time. It is the lunch break session. And for that, we would like to invite our distinguished guests to enjoy our lunch. And not only to our distinguished guests, lunch is also served to each and every one of us. So lunch will be served at the dining hall and will be arranged in a buffet style, and we kindly invite all guests to proceed to the dining area. And
we hope everyone enjoys the meal and takes the time to relax and network with fellow participants. Thank you, and we will resume the next session after the lunch break. Please be reminded to return to the hall on time at 2:15 p.m. for the continuation of the program.